units? How many units on the site roughly do you do? You're working on about 30 unit sites. Is that your average number?
Call it average 30, yeah.
Yeah, fucking
I
hell.
do
So
have a question though. Sorry. I do have a question. It was just on the back of that premise there. I was talking about that book, Built to Sell, and how for your company to be valuable, for your life to be less stressful, if you could structure your company or your business. And this is for anybody listening to, where you can get paid in up front, you can be cash positive. So, like if you're a developer and you're going to work with an investor to do a deal, structure it where you might get a sourcing fee, you can get a project management fee yourself personally, so you can personally cash flow and be positive throughout the deal or something like that. But the other part of that book was about building like a stream of revenue that's recurring revenue, because that's where you can build a really valuable business because it's predictable cash flow. So yeah, my question was: are you three doing anything from a recurring revenue point of view for like that business wealth that technically you could sell for like a multiple?
Reoccurring revenue, yeah. So we got Skylofts, which is our marketing. We give these to all the kids because they love them,
Love it.
and yeah, that's our cash cows. That's what we basically rely on to basically support our business. Which we would look at selling. I think we looked at franchising it. We looked at selling, but one thing I can't do is sell the staff because they're such a fundamental part of the family. We would potentially look at selling in 5 to 10 years' time once we're at a critical point where the commercial developments are overtaking the amount of loft leads and revenue that's generated from that business. So yeah, 1 times multiple of revenue would be ideal, or 3 times profit would be something we'd look to sell for. And it's franchisable, so we'd just sell all the systems, all the whole thing, all the branding, and the property side, I am really struggling to work out why to sell it, because you've got the house prices that were 55 grand in 77 are now 285 grand or whatever in 2022, 2023. So holding assets and stock is really important. And I think if we can get it cash flowing positively, which 100% of the developments we've done so far are positively cash flowing with very little or no money left in, I find it hard to sell that to get more cash to then work harder to put it back to work. So, but ultimately we do developments with investors where we're doing all the work for half of the earned income or capital appreciation. Where if we was to sell a few, we could use that cash to do where we own 100% of our own. But like Jack said, it's very difficult to do that because you are locking up all your cash. It takes longer. Where you can scale and use all your systems and your team and your energy to do more by taking more investors on.
Just real quickly back on that, Stu.
Yeah, mate.
Just because I was actually chatting to Alex Hearn about this, like exiting a business. Why would you exit a business if you're just getting 1 year's rev or 3 years of profit? Surely it's better to try and replace.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, and I never looked to sell it, but ultimately it's the time it's taken. So it's the time on revenue versus what we could do to make that in other developments, and we're not ready to take on 6 £5 million development sites running concurrently or 1 a quarter yet. But in 18 months, 2 years time, 2.5 years time, I think we'll have the systems in place.
I'm referring to Sky Lofts.
Yeah. So am I.
You know, if I was you and I was running a business that you could maybe whittle down to an hour a week, and you could sell it for 3 years worth of net profit,
Why would you sell it?
why wouldn't you just run it for 3
He
years?
wants to take the team. He wants to take the team from Skylofts and move them
That's
into the
it.
development business and sell Skylofts as his own business,
Gotcha.
where another company
Yeah,
could take.
Yeah.
So that's why. Yeah.
The framework of building a management team.
But I mean,
Go on, mate.
my same question remains: whether it's your existing team or the new team, or Joe Blogs, why sell it if you've got if you just waited 3 years, you've got the same result.
Go on, D. My agent will answer that.
I was going to say, like, if you Stuart's, so if I'm trying to put myself in Stuart's shoes, looking at on the basis of cash sell. Building a team is one of the most difficult things to do, right? After you've got your strategy and proved the business model works, it's all about people then, and the working capital management. People is so hard. Stuart wants to move one of his biggest assets, which is his, other than the reputation of Skylofts, where the value is, and he wants to take those team members and put them into his development company and ramp that up. That means Stuart would have to replace the entire team at Skylofts, which would require a huge amount of head work and head space, which, yes, of course, you could do in theory, but I can see the logic for moving that team into the developments, ramping that up, selling Skylofts to a strategic partner that doesn't need the team, but wants the reputation, wants the brand, wants the order book, etc. Moves that into their business so they can deliver it. You get a cash lump lump sum, you re-inject that into the development business, and motor on. Really, I can see the logic for it.
Boom, mic drop. That's exactly the plan. As much as I love Skylofts, it's my second baby after my first construction company. But after 15 years of doing it, it deserves to go to someone who's going to look after it and want to take it for the next 15 years. And because of just the way that the world's gone and where my passions are now, I've now got all the stepping stones to go into property development a lot more aggressively. And I think I can't do both at a high level. I need to focus on one that's going to give us ultimately the end goal, which is passive income and long-term growth. I just can't. Energy per revenue pound.
Yeah, I think the reason that I was asking that question is more along the lines of with a company sale, you'll have management targets, you'll have performance targets, and normally they do tail off and materialize to not 3x profit because you're not doing it and you've built that relationship and you've got the systems and blah 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 blah, and actually might transpire to 1 year, 2 years of profit. So why don't you try and keep that going? It's just difficult to exit some businesses. Some businesses have a really sought after space in the market, but other businesses don't sell well, especially between sort of 200 to 5 mil revenue. As soon as you get above that, it's a different story. You can swallow and merge a lot more easily, like John Lewis and Waitrose.
I could see like a local contractor though, that if Skylofts went up for sale, while I agree with everything you say, mind Jack. Business selling is actually it is most sales don't go through, and they take a lot of time, and they try to get you on earn-outs. There's a lot of tie kickers, especially with like the M&A. People getting into M&A with no money down and stuff like that. There'll be a lot of that around as well. But the goal is to ideally work with a very good, M&A or business broker, broker that finds a strategic partner, like a local contractor that has been trading for a while, has got his cash rich, wants to aggressively expand. Acquiring something like Skylofts could be a strategic move for them to instantly add, 2.5+ million of revenue, whatever it is, 4 million.
It's the home improvement markets. You've got the Anglians out there. You've got the people who do the glazing, the conservatories. The system for the lofts with our model and everything is literally oven ready. You take the systems, the leads, the data we collect at point one, and we finish with the flowers and thank yous at the end, and the whole thing is documented. So it's quite an easy business to sell on.
The best thing for you though is, whilst you've got your business in a position for a sale or giving yourself the best chance, you're very systemized, you've got a manual for how everything's done, you're cash flow positive, you've proven that over years, you've got, whilst you don't have the team, all of that process is there. It would be where there's a lot of businesses that fail to sell is because they're not systemized. They're not cash flow positive, so working capital adjustments need to be made for the business valuation, which is really where a big driver of earn-outs come from. So yeah, just there's a combination of things. But I think anybody listening, if you've got a business interest in sell, you have to give yourself that runway to get your business ready for sale.
3 years. You need 3 good years of accounts as well. Like the decisions you make to exit are massively different to when you want to grow or sustain, because we spend our money based on where we want to be in 3 years' time. And I think it's a decision you've got to make today if you want to start thinking about it in 2027, 2028. So
yeah, spoke about this in the other podcast. Lettings business to me is that it's like a valuable business that could sell one day
because of the management recurring fee.
Yeah, management. You can genuinely our target is to run at 20% profitability, and we are at 370 units, I think it is now, that are secured or in the pipeline, and we want to be at 1,000 units by the end of next year, which should be doable. And then 1,000 units, times what I say, an average of 550 rent per month at 15% management fee. You start working it out, and it becomes quite a lot of money just passively coming in. And it's building up strength.
Well, that'd be about 80,000 a month, something like that, wouldn't it? About 80,000 a month from.
I've got all the targets of the projects on Monday.com. We've created all these targets and all these different things. Really useful way to project sales and things like that. But
how do they get value then to sell letting agents if you build 1,000 unit portfolio?
Typically, a multiple of the income are from 0.8 to 1.2, depending on a few factors. But call it, your gross rental take per year. But that does depend on your profitability and things like that.
Your net revenue off so that'll be
Yeah.
let's say you're charging a 10% fee. That'll be what you're getting paid for the 10% fee,
Yeah,
right?
so so sorry, not the income that's coming that all the tenants are paying, but the fees that we're taking off of those. Yeah, the fees off of
Yeah.
those.
So if it's 80,000 a month times 12, it's £1 million a year in rent management fee. The value would be anywhere from 800 grand to 1.2 million.
Yeah,
Hypothetically,
yeah,
obviously,
depending on
just
profitability and quality of the landlords and stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
And are you two doing anything, Jack, Stuart, on a recurring revenue point of view?
Yeah, I mean our passion project for a national saleable business is XP Surveys, which is, whether you're doing a survey in Edinburgh or in Plymouth, it's black and white. You're measuring a building. We're currently operating at about 20 to 40 surveys per month. Here we go, trucker boy.
Here we are, American. Make America great again. Make Henley great again, Jack. Sorry. Oh, I just broke something there.
Yeah, we've got plans to take that business national. The market for surveys is there's 400,000 planning applications that go in every year on average, which makes it about an £800 billion market. So if we take just 1% of that, it can take our business to a
Wait,
national business. So it's a very scalable model.
how much? Wait, say again. What's the addressable market size?
So if there's 400,000 planning applications, you need a measured survey for any planning application because you need a design plan that you're going to scope it out to produce it. This is just planning. There's also infrastructure, highways, councils, all of that sort of, remeasuring. There's hydro, tidal measurements, everything that you can imagine. Monitoring surveillance, so like construction after planning. But this is just the planning market, which is where we're best at, really, which is measured building surveys, topos for developers and architects. It is 400,000 planning applications roughly on average go forward every year. So if you value the average survey about 2K per survey, so if it's a big topo, it might be, we've done 66 acres, which I think was about 22K, all the way down to a measured building survey, which is a grand plus VAT type gig. You've got everything all the way in between. If you take an average of 2K per survey, that's an £800 billion market every year.
800 billion.
And the way to tap into that market is there's tons of big, archaic, slow surveying businesses where they've got surveying fee earners and they've got in-house where they've got to go win the business, convert the business, deliver the business. We've got systems and processes in our business which set us aside and make us completely unique. We're the only company that have an online quotation tool. So if there was 1 million people that went on our website and wanted a quote, they would get their quote there and then. But another business can't deliver that. So we've got scalable metrics. We've looked at expansion plans. We've looked at franchise plans, but we're building the foundations today, which is why it's probably grown. Again, like Dorian said, it's grown a lot slower than we would have actually liked it to, but we're putting in so many foundationary measures so that it is scalable, because we're thinking, well, where's the problem when it's 1,000 surveys per month rather than 30 or 40.
What's your marketing strategy like? What's the sales like month on month? How are you pulling those levers on making sure the leads are coming in? And is it referrals?
So obviously the business started just from doing work within our own company, then people that we know. We're 95% of our new leads generation is just SEO for our website. People would rather use a local firm, they Google it in. The rest of it is we get a lot of repeat business, our target client, because we'd much rather B2B, so dealing with an architect that needs 5 surveys per month than dealing with a customer. The average person in the UK moves house every 12 years. So if we bag a customer, or like Stuart bags a customer, the likelihood of using that customer again is in 12 years' time, if they can remember you and if they like the service. We focus on.
Yeah, but one person will tell 4 people. So I mean, that's the beauty of what we do, is that we do a really good job for one person, and their neighbours, their friends, their relatives. That's how we've grown our business. And the same, but the thing is with the building market is that no one really talks to each other. So if you do a good job for one builder or one developer, developers are different. They'll talk to other developers, and I've used XP surveys for our Twickenham deal and was really happy and would use them again. So I mean, we're looking for our next deal and our next site that needs a full set of drawings. I'll use XP, but I don't go and shout and scream about that. Where if you give someone a good experience with their loft conversion, the builders are known stereotypically to be disastrous and messy and all the rest of it. And if you don't do these things, they will bang the drum and talk about you for years. I had a lead come in last week that come from a customer who built 6 years ago. Literally 6 years ago. They're friends now already.
Stuart, the thing I would say about your businesses though is you're delivering a high ticket item. Our margin is like 500 quid, average. So your margin might be 30 grand, but where we can't rely on B2C is if we build a relationship with an architect that needs 5 surveys per month, they could be pushing 50 grand's worth of business through us a year, every year, for their duration of their architectural practice, whether that be 50 years, for an example. So lifetime value of an architect over a customer is tenfold. So SEO, and then obviously we have, all the, email marketing, social media marketing, all of that nonsense. We've just hired a business development manager because Ben and I, what happens in our business is it's seasonal on when Ben and I aren't that busy in other businesses. So we'd pump a bit of new business, get on the phones, do what we need to do, call in some business, and it will sort of go up, and then it will sort of tail out and then go back down when Ben and I are busy. So we've got a full-time business development manager now. But fundamentally, the way that we would take this national is we're still working on building a hugely scalable business, a bit like the McDonald's model. If anyone's seen the movie The Founder, like build one that's well-oiled, system focused, and you're basically building a process that you can replicate, is then just going to be PPC. Because once you've got the budget for PPC, you'll get everything online, and then you have a compounding effect of returning.
That's literally what we're doing now.
One very quick thing you mentioned there on your business. Again, something else I read. If you've got like a sales based business, you should never just hire one salesperson. You should always have at least 2, because they're naturally competitive and have like that in a sales based environment scoreboard, as you remember, Jack, from your recruitment days, and it will drive more calls, more outbounds, more meetings, more prospects, more offers. Whether it's just one, they think they're doing a good job, but they've got nothing to compare against. So a salesperson should always be on the hunting ground with another salesperson.
Like it. I mean, to some degree, the new BDM is kind of competing already with Ben and I, because I already bring in quite a lot of business, and equally does Ben. But I completely agree with you. But then there's a classic sales versus ops. So to get a second salesperson, we need 4 new surveyors to deliver that extra 30, 40 surveys per month.
Yeah, fair enough. Yin and yang as always, isn't it? Yeah.
Sales first, baby. Yeah, I was just going to say that that what you've just described, Jack, is where we're pivoting to now. I've literally got 2 of my good mates are wizards with the ads and the funnels and the marketing funnels and pay-per-click, and we all of our business has been organic so far, and through social media marketing. But now we've created these funnels, which are I'll send them to you guys in the group chat. Actually, they're pretty fucking sick, and we've got this AI bot that warms up the leads and gets them to book calls and things like that. And it's a really comprehensive process, and we're now going to turn that towards investors and start using pay-per-click to get more and more investors, because we want to get to our 48 HMOs a year target and quickly, and then we want to do the commercial to resis, and we know that organically we'll probably get there in maybe two years, accounting for the repeat business. But if we just expedite that and go for the ads, then we can qualify more leads and try and build up the pipeline even more. But yeah, the turning on the ads is such a game changer. Like, you get so much more inbound, but you do need good sales team on the close because it's slightly colder. Whereas organic is great because they kind of warm themselves up following our social media for 3-4 months, and then by the time they're on the call, they're already sold. They're just starting to build they want the direct rapport then. Whereas through an ad, it's kind of a bit hit or miss, isn't it? You could have someone who's just gearing and ready to go, likes the concept, let's do it, and then someone who goes, okay, let me think, let me do this and then 6 months later they're ready. But yeah, pay-per-click all the way. If you can master pay-per-click, you're basically printing money, aren't you? Or printing sales. All right.